Mike, congratulations on getting accepted, but I'm sorry, we can't afford the tuition.
I couldn't believe my husband's words and stood up forcefully from my chair. Hold on a second. That's crazy. Why can't we afford the tuition? Mike remained seated and expressionless.
That's because, I didn't expect this, so I spent it all on Ashley's beauty treatments. Makeup and fashion cost a fortune.
Turning his back to us while changing his clothes, Logan said that without a hint of remorse. All the past hardships came flooding back to me. I couldn't stand the thought that he spent so much on his niece, Ashley, while keeping Mike so restricted. I have some savings too. I scrimped and saved because you told me to. But Logan just laughed out loud when he heard that.
Oh, the money hidden in that room. I spent all of that on Ashley too. Too bad.
That's a lie. It has to be a lie.
It's your fault. You used the same PIN as our joint account. Of course, I used it.
I felt a coldness spreading through my body. I never thought Logan would find out, so I set it to the same PIN as our joint account. But knowing this doesn't change the fact that it was my money. I couldn't stand it any longer and tried to confront Logan physically. Just before I could reach him, Mike stood up from his chair and grabbed my arm to stop me. Let go, Mike, please let me go.
Mom, it's okay. Because
He whispered in my ear, and I suddenly stopped. Reassured by Mike's words, I continued with the enrollment process. I am Olivia. After graduating from a cosmetology school, I worked at a local beauty salon. Once, I was asked to do bridal makeup for a wedding guest. That's where I met Logan. I was focused on my work and didn't pay much attention, but Logan seemed to have fallen for me at first sight. He handed me a note with his contact information as he was leaving.
Sorry if this bothers you, but please call me if you're interested.
Getting such requests wasn't unusual in my job. Since I was thinking about marriage at that time, I saw it as fate and started dating him. Things moved quickly, and eventually, I married Logan. Married life was very blissful, but there was one issue that troubled me. My relationship with my Mill, Amelia. She was close to Logan's sister-in-law, Sophia, and she always compared me to Sophia. However, aside from that, things were smooth. A year after I got married, Sophia had Ashley, and shortly after, I had Mike. Later, a baby shower was held at Logan's family home for Ashley and Mike. Everyone's attention was on Ashley. With her bright eyes, she was bound to be a beauty, resembling Logan somehow, which made everyone jest about her being Logan's child. I felt uneasy hearing this. It's not pleasant to be told that a relative's child resembles your husband. But unaware of my feelings, Amelia was completely taken with Ashley.
She's just adorable, isn't she? I can't wait to see what she becomes. Unlike the other one, unfortunately.
She glanced at Mike as she said that and snickered. This made the other relatives snicker too.
Well, the other one doesn't really matter, does it? But Amelia, I want to make her become a model.
Hearing this, Amelia's face lit up.
A model. That's a brilliant idea. But how does one become a model?
Sophia answered with a smug look.
Don't worry, I may not look like it, but I have an experience as a model. I've got connections, you know?
Indeed, Sophia had been a part-time model during her college days. She wasn't a top seller, but the experience was significant. Her casual actions and fashion sense used that experience. Working in a salon, I could tell Sophia wasn't just full talk.
Really? That's reassuring.
Modeling, right. They often appear on TV.
Yes, exactly. Some of them even become actresses. If she becomes a model, we might get famous too.
At that, the relatives suddenly got excited, showering Ashley with hopeful words. Even Logan joined in, praising Sophia. Unnoticed by anyone, I was in the corner of the room, holding Mike in my arms. Mike gazed into my face with an innocent smile. Suddenly, I felt so sorry for him that I almost cried. Sophia, basking in everyone's attention, looked very pleased.
Well, everyone, children don't grow up overnight, so let's look forward to her growth.
I know. If you need money, just say the word. I'll pay whatever it takes.
Thank you so much, Amelia.
After that, we were completely ignored by the relatives. Struggling with the favoritism towards Ashley, I worked hard to raise Mike. Logan hardly helped with childcare at all. Please, Logan, spend some time with Mike. It's not fair to him. No matter how desperately I pleaded, Logan wouldn't listen.
Quiet, I'm busy with work. You alone should be enough to take care of him.
He would always brush everything off and ignore it, leaving me to handle everything. I regretted marrying Logan but didn't have the courage to leave. The only salvation came from my parents, who helped when I was at my lowest and truly adored Mike. Their support was the only thing keeping me together. Somehow, I managed to raise Mike. 10 years later, Mike had grown into a healthy middle schooler. Logan was still disinterested in parenting, but suddenly wanted to talk when he came home from work.
Mike's still at school, right? When will he be back?
He'll be back soon. What's up? The fact that Logan was asking about Mike gave me a bad feeling.
I want him to aim for medical school. Tell him to get ready to study for that.
Logan's cold words took me aback. Wait a minute. What are you suddenly saying? Don't decide his future on your own. Annoyed by my desperate plea, Logan clicked his tongue loudly.
Listen, I'm his father. You don't get a say. Got it?
I can accept that. You've never been involved in raising him.
Shut up. That's your role, isn't it? Are you earning enough to talk back to me?
Despite what Logan said, I couldn't back down. At least tell me why medical school?
It's obvious. It's for my parents' sake. It's for the looks.
I was shocked by his response. What does he think of his own child? However, Logan continued without paying attention to me.
You get it. We're always being compared to William's family. After all, Ashley is beautiful, but Mike has nothing going for him.
He seemed to have a lot of pent-up frustration and kept spewing harsh words.
It's a disgrace, a disgrace. So, he needs to at least become smart, understand.
I clenched my fists and couldn't say a word, feeling as if being stabbed by a knife.
Well, that's how it is. I'll tell Mike myself. He's going to study hard from now on, so don't you interfere.
With that, he left the room. I was worried about my son, but couldn't defy Logan. I secretly resolved to support Mike as much as I could. Then Mike's days became filled with studying. After school, he would stay at the tutoring center until late at night, and on weekends, Logan found him a private tutor. He wasn't allowed any playtime outside of studying, and he couldn't even fully participate in school events. Whenever Mike's grades slipped even slightly, Logan would scold him mercilessly. Thanks to his efforts, Mike graduated at the top of his middle school class and entered a prestigious high school in the area. But Logan didn't ease up and ordered me to save money.
Hey, you, save money. We need it for tuition, so don't you dare spend on luxuries.
Please, let's stop this. This isn't good for anyone. Please reconsider. I desperately tried to stop Logan, but he wouldn't listen.
Shut up. Didn't I tell you not to interfere? If you keep nagging, I'll kick you out of the house.
I couldn't stand up to him after being threatened like that. But it was clear that Mike was overexerting himself. At this rate, his spirit might break. When Logan was out, I seized the moment to speak with Mike. Mike, are you okay? I need to talk to you for a minute. Mike was solving problems at his desk and glanced at me without stopping.
I'm okay for now, but I can talk long. I have to finish all this by tomorrow.
Okay, I'll make it quick. Dad says you have to go to med school, but it's not mandatory. If you want to do something else, it's okay to pursue that path. Hearing my words, Mike smiled gently.
Thanks, Mom. It's nice of you to say that, but I will aim for med school. It might make Dad recognize me, and he might start treating you better.
Mike's kindness made me want to cry. I felt ashamed of being submissive to Logan. Okay, I understand. But please don't hesitate to tell me if it gets too hard. I'm on your side, remember that.
I understand, Mom. I won't bear it all alone.
Then keep up the good work. With that, I left Mike's room and cried silently in the living room, careful not to let Mike hear me crying. In high school, Mike maintained top grades and applied to a national university's medical school. 3 years later, on the day of the results, Mike checked online. He tentatively looked at the screen, and his face brightened.
We did it, Mom. I got in.
Really? Congratulations. Mike and I shed tears of joy together. I immediately contacted Logan and went out to shop for a celebration. That evening, the dinner table was laden with lavish dishes. I talked with Mike about our hardships, waiting for Logan to come home. After 8 p.m., Logan returned from work, but he didn't look very pleased. What's wrong? Mike got into med school. Logan looked awkward.
I never really thought he'd actually pass.
He muttered to himself while taking off his suit jacket. What are you talking about? Of course, he passed. He worked so hard for it. Ignoring my confusion, Logan turned to Mike and said something unbelievable.
Mike, congratulations on your acceptance. But unfortunately, we can't afford the tuition.
I stood up from my chair, startled. Wait a minute, that's not right. Why can't we afford the tuition? Mike remained seated and expressionless.
That's because I didn't expect this to happen, so I spent it all.
On what?
Ashley's beauty treatments. She's going into modeling seriously now, so makeup and fashion cost a lot. It can't be helped.
Logan said this nonchalantly, turning his back to us while changing his clothes. All the hardships we had gone through came flooding back. I couldn't forgive him for spending on Ashley after restricting Mike so much. Enough already. What are we supposed to do now?
Shut up. Don't talk back to me like that.
Logan then glared at Mike and yelled.
What are you looking at? Didn't you hear? Figure out the tuition yourself. Don't rely on your parents.
Okay, I understand. I'll manage it myself.
Mike's face was like a mask, showing no emotion. It's okay, Mike. You don't have to worry. I stood in front of Logan to defend Mike. I have savings too. I saved desperately because you told me to. But Logan just laughed loudly upon hearing this.
Oh, the stash hidden in that room. I spent all of it on Ashley. Too bad.
No, that can't be true. It must be a lie.
If you think it's a lie, go see for yourself. It's your fault anyway. It's the same PIN you always use for the account. Of course, I used it.
I felt a coldness spread throughout my body. I never thought Logan would find it. I used the same PIN as our joint account. But even though he knows, it's still my money. I couldn't tolerate him for touching it. I can't forgive you anymore.
What? If you have complaints, say them.
I couldn't hold back and tried to grab Logan. Just before I could, Mike stood up from his chair and held my arm to stop me. Let go, Mike, please let go.
Mom, it's okay. Because
He whispered softly, and I stopped abruptly. Logan, seemingly unaware, just smirked.
Good job, Mike. You see, she should learn from you. Talking back is useless.
Logan laughed at us and then went to take a bath. Relieved by Mike's words, I proceeded with the enrollment process. Mike had seen my struggle and had been preparing his own solutions. He had secretly started working part-time, unnoticed by Logan. I was surprised he could do that amid his busy schedule. But given his intensive study and the limited earning potential for students, Mike soon realized the difficulty of earning money and consulted my parents. My father, who worked in finance, knew a lot about that area. Apparently, Mike learned from my father how to earn money through stock trading. I wasn't aware, but Mike found out that one could start investing in stocks with as little as $100. Given his intelligence, Mike quickly learned how it worked. He invested the money he earned from his part-time job, gradually increasing his assets. Though he made money, it wasn't enough for him to be independent from our support, so Logan never found out about it. By the end of high school, Mike had managed to save enough for his college enrollment fees. I can even imagine how hard it must have been to earn that much. However, Mike had kept this a secret from everyone except my parents. Logan's parents never even gave Mike a Christmas present. Logan doted only on Ashley, spending money on her, while I covered all educational expenses with the money I earned. Had Logan known Mike was earning money, he would have taken it immediately. That's why we kept silent until the last moment. Amazed at Mike's intelligence, I felt compelled to take action. I decided to divorce Logan, believing that staying with him would only bring misery to both Mike and me. Afterward, Mike and Ashley graduated from high school. A celebratory meal was organized with Logan's family for the first time in a while. Logan's parents were probably surprised that Mike got into medical school, as everyone praised him, which made me happy. But I didn't let myself get too carried away. I was watching for an opportunity not to be missed. The graduation celebration ended successfully, and it was decided that we would gather again soon. Time flew by, and soon it was the day of the gathering. This was my chance. I brought the diaries I had been keeping and the DNA test results, knowing I couldn't show them to the two. After asking Mike and Ashley to play somewhere else, I declared in front of all the relatives that I was divorcing Logan. Please listen, everyone. I have decided to divorce Logan. The relatives fell silent, shocked by my announcement. Logan dropped his chopsticks in surprise.
What? You? Divorce? What are you suddenly talking about?
That's outrageous, even as a joke.
I placed the pile of diaries on the table. Everything that has happened to me is written here. If you want to know why, just read these. Logan smacked the pile of diaries angrily.
This is nonsense. Just complaints? What's the point?
The diaries scattered across the table. The relatives picked them up, whispering among themselves, while Logan's brother, William, read with interest.
Oh man, you're terrible. Haven't changed a bit since you were a kid.
Logan, angered by William's comment, slammed the table.
Even you're mocking me? The stuff written there is all lies, Olivia. Don't think this will end easily.
But for Mike's future, I couldn't back down. I placed the DNA test results on the table for everyone to see. Logan turned pale and tried to hide them, but William snatched them first.
Come on, don't hide it now. Better to lay it all out and feel relieved.
William smirked while reading the results, but his smile faded as he continued. The hand holding the DNA results was trembling, and the eyes were darting around.
What does this mean, Olivia?
William asked, his voice trembling. When Mike enrolled, we all gathered, right? That's when I secretly took Logan and Ashley's utensils and had their DNA tested. The results show they are parent and child. Sophia gasped and covered her mouth, visibly shaken. The revelation caused an uproar among the relatives, plunging the room into chaos.
Olivia, isn't this going too far?
On what basis did you do such a thing?
I explained the reasoning behind my suspicions to everyone. I always thought it was strange. Logan doted on Ashley more than Mike, and Ashley closely resembles Logan. That's why I thought they were having an affair. Sophia glared at me and threw a diary at me.
Don't make baseless accusations. Isn't this just a vendetta?
That's why I provided evidence. I'm fed up with this favoritism. I'm taking this chance to sever ties with all of you. My declaration of disownment incensed the relatives. The anger of Logan's parents was particularly intense.
It's unacceptable. Mike's medical school acceptance is our pride.
Yes, and now you talk of severance. What will the neighbors think? It looks bad for us.
I listened to Logan's parents' words with disdain. They had always favored Ashley and did nothing for Mike. Yet now they claimed pride in his achievement. It was too convenient. I don't care about your circumstances. What about Logan and Sophia's situation? All eyes turned to Logan and Sophia.
This is fake. She's framing us because we didn't pay attention to her.
Sophia desperately blurted out her words, and Logan joined in.
She's right, brother. Trust me, I wouldn't do such a thing. And the DNA was taken without consent. This proves nothing.
The relatives sided with Logan, and they started blaming us.
Olivia, You've done something outrageous. This isn't a laughing matter.
If you admit it now, apologize right here with him. We can let it go then.
I maintained a firm demeanor. Unfortunately, that DNA test is genuine. I have no reason to apologize. William glared at Logan, irritated by my stance.
You keep making a fool of us. Logan, say something. It's your responsibility too.
I'll listen to your complaints at home, so apologize now. Otherwise, you're troubling me and everyone.
Trying to save his own skin, Logan attempted to talk me down. If you keep saying it's fake, let's do another test with William, Logan, and Ashley. Then even William can be sure.
Enough already, Sophia exclaimed.
William gestured for her to calm down.
Indeed. We need to settle this once and for all. Let's test again.
But Logan and Sophia looked awkwardly at each other. Without noticing, Logan's father, Ethan, slammed the table.
Enough. Olivia, I will sue you for defamation. Prepare to pay a hefty compensation. Now get out.
So, I left the scene. Later, Ethan had Ashley and Logan retested to prove my claims false. Hiring a lawyer at great expense, he was desperate to make me apologize. A week later, we were summoned to Logan's family home again, where Ethan held the envelope with the DNA results.
Now that everyone is here, let's open this.
He then opened the envelope and began reading the DNA results. Amelia was smirking maliciously, already convinced of the lie.
Olivia, are you ready to apologize on your knees?
William crossed his arms, glaring at me, while Ethan remained silent, his face turning red as he continued to read the DNA results. Due to the prolonged silence, Amelia looked at him with suspicion.
What's taking so long? Hurry up and tell us the results.
William also looked anxiously towards Ethan, who sighed deeply and placed the DNA results on the table.
It's confirmed that Ashley and Logan are parent and child.
Amelia screamed in shock.
What? So, Sophia and Logan were really having an affair.
William was so angry he couldn't speak, just clenched his fists tightly.
Logan, explain yourself. Make us understand.
A vein throbbed on Ethan's forehead. Next to a sweating Logan who looked down, Sophia covered her face and collapsed on the table. An awkward silence lingered on. And it was Sophia who broke the silence.
It's not my fault. It's Logan's fault.
She tearfully explained how the affair started. Feeling lonely because Logan's brother, William, was always busy with work, she became closer to Logan as she complained, and eventually she got pregnant with Ashley. She confessed they concocted a plan to keep it secret from their partners. William, upon hearing this, lunged at Logan.
You. How could you act so normal all this time? You must have been mocking me inside.
Logan, shaken by William, desperately tried to justify himself.
I wasn't mocking. I got carried away. I respect you, brother. I thought Ashley was cute, and I felt responsible, so I wanted to raise her properly.
Hearing this, I sighed deeply, feeling more pity than anger. Logan's parents seemed utterly disgusted by their son's disgrace.
What a shameful display. Sophia, we're getting a divorce. Pack your things and leave once we get home.
Sophia looked up and clung to William.
Wait, it was just a moment of confusion. I love you.
But William looked at her with contempt.
You might say that, but I can no longer love you.
Sophia wailed and curled up on the floor. Ethan coldly observed.
This is unprecedented. Logan, Sophia, you both are a disgrace to our family. Don't ever appear before me again.
Thus, Logan, Sophia, and Ashley were ostracized. I proceeded with the divorce from Logan, who was stalling. So I consulted my father for a competent lawyer. The lawyer's efforts finally settled the divorce. Logan's resistance increased the settlement, and he ended up paying more alimony and child support than average. I plan to claim the child support for Mike's college expenses. Sophia's divorce with William was finalized, and she and Ashley began living with Logan. Their life seemed much harder than before. Ashley and I started talking more, and she became closer to Mike.
I was also pressured by my parents and relatives to become a model, which was tough. This situation was shocking, but I feel relieved now.
Ashley also kept in contact with William, through whom we learned about the aftermath at Logan's family home. Amelia, unable to contain her shock, portrayed herself as a tragic heroine to the neighbors, exposing the family's shame. This led to them being ridiculed. As it turned out, the neighbors disliked Logan's family, seizing the opportunity to mock them. Consequently, Logan's parents, their pride wounded, became recluses in their own home. And just like that, they abandoned their house overnight and moved somewhere else. But since we were estranged, it no longer concerned me. Mike and I moved back to my parents' house. Mike is thoroughly enjoying his university life, focusing on his studies while also engaging in part-time work and club activities. It seems he even has a girlfriend now, and he's having the time of his life. I also rented a property from my parents and opened a cooking school there. Having my own school has been a long-held dream, so I'm truly happy. Ashley seemed interested in this kind of work and asked to be hired as a part-time employee. I hired her at Mike's request, and she's been a great help, working very hard. After a long period of struggle, everything has turned out well. Now, earning a living doing what I love, I am very content.